All right, we only got one drive from Kenny Pickett, but it was a beauty, 6 for 7 on a touchdown drive, and it was really good too. It was an effective drive. He did a lot of stuff I really liked here, not just like preseason good stuff, legit good stuff. I thought I'm gonna be very excited talking about Kenny Pickett. I've been very impressed with him this preseason, and this is a great example of just what I like about Kenny Pickett. It's not the read itself; it's how he does it. So this concept, relatively simple. It's a cover 2 zone you're going up against. You see the route that Pickett's going to look towards. It can get into a gap in coverage at a certain point, but watch what happens. So look, Kenny Pickett is going to take the snap. He looks down the field, and what I like about this is you can see the gap in coverage, right? When it's going to be open, where that receiver can be open in that gap for Pickett to make the throw. But what I like about what Pickett is doing is you look at him, he's in the throwing motion, and not like he's just started it, like he's about to get rid of the football right now. And I think that's the biggest advantage Kenny Pickett has as opposed to these other quarterbacks, and probably why he was the first quarterback taken and the only quarterback taken in the first 2 rounds, and he was a first rounder. It's because he does not fall in that typical young player mistake of, a lot of young guys sort of are timid, don't want to throw the ball right away, don't trust their arm, like they use their legs instead. Pickett trusts his arm, and he should. He has a good one. Watch him just, perfectly accurate throw on top of it, which allowed the receiver to run and pick up more yards. So all of this stuff, good. But this is the kind of stuff we saw from Mac Jones, right? Of being able to just run the offense, know your play, know when it's going to get open, and make the correct read at the correct time. And that's what can allow for quarterbacks to have good rookie seasons. A play like this is another impressive play, in my opinion, largely due to the fact that, okay, a lot of people are going to say, with me being excited about Kenny Pickett, okay, sure, yeah, he played well, but, it's preseason, right? And you're playing Jacksonville. Who cares? They probably just played the same coverage every play anyway, so of course you're going to look smart in that scenario. Well, this isn't a same coverage. This is actually going to be a bit of a unique coverage where you have multiple players who are going to be kind of like they're blitzing here, but then you have someone else on the other side of the field drop back into coverage. So the official play is a cover 3 zone blitz, but it's a bit of a unique way to do that. And so for Pickett, there's a lot to pick up here. And as this play begins, speaking of pick up, the halfback does not really pick up the blitz here. You have an unblocked man who can run over and tackle Pickett. But Pickett notices that he has a player who's about to get into a gap in coverage. And this is the impressive stuff about Kenny Pickett. Honestly, a lot of NFL players in general can struggle in this situation. Bit of a unique coverage. Where's the guy you want to throw the ball to? That's what I care more about. I don't really care if Pickett hits this throw here because I know he can hit throws. The question is, can he find the right guy and put the ball in the right spot? Can he give himself, make things easier on himself? And look at how he does exactly that. Puts the ball exactly where he wanted to, got it to the right guy, read the play despite it being a unique coverage and despite it being a blitz where there was an unblocked man, so he had to get rid of the ball quickly. He had no choice there. There was no option to take some time and be patient and wait. He had to go immediately. He couldn't have read that play pre-snap. I don't think. Maybe sometimes, guys find these little things on tape that we don't notice that allowed him to do that. But I don't think that he read that pre-snap. I think that was a post-snap read and a damn good one. And of course, there's this play, which, hey, what's the other trait of good quarterbacks? They give their receivers a chance. At the end of the day, that's what you have to do. A quarterback cannot win a football game alone. All they can do is throw the ball to someone else. That guy has to be the one who makes the grab. And that's what's going to happen on this play. It's a man coverage play. And immediately when it's man coverage and you see only one safety deep, sidelines are where you want to look for, especially in the middle of the field. But even in a situation like this, when you're on the 11-yard line, you're seeing a lot of these types of plays in preseason simply because, teams want to try out their corners and see if their corners can win on the outside. I also always wonder if there's kind of just an unspoken agreement with with teams in general of like, hey, we want to see if our wide receivers can win one-on-one. So maybe throw some man coverage in there. We'll do the same. We want to see if this will happen. And then maybe even, for all we know, quarterbacks are taught to just sort of throw it up there just because, they want to see that happen. Or maybe they just throw it up to a receiver on the outside because that's the smart move, which is what Pickett is going to do here. Once Pickett takes the snap, it looked like there was a bit of a jump there. But what you see is that at first it doesn't look like it's that open. There's not much separation. But the one thing that's always worth noting is if a defensive back has to completely turn his back like he has, The issue with that is that now you can't play the ball. You can only play the receiver. Because if you look back towards the ball and the receiver cuts, well, now you've just completely given up on the receiver and they're wide open. So you have to now turn around and play the receiver, meaning that the receiver can play the ball while the defensive back can't. So when Pickett then throws it over the middle, the receiver cut before the defensive back did, it results in a touchdown. So great route, ran, all that stuff, great catch. But you absolutely have to give Kenny Pickett credit here. This was a very impressive drive from a young player to be able to do all this stuff. Well, a bit of bad timing. There are fireworks going off right now, so I'm dealing with that. Hopefully it's not picking up on the microphone at all. It might be picking up a little bit, but it'll be lasting for a bit. So I want to get this video out now. That's what I'm doing. Anyways, yeah, so Kenny Pickett, listen, I have to say, I've been very impressed with Kenny Pickett, and he's someone who I liked coming out of college. I didn't love. I had him as sort of an early second round talent. He goes late first round, but at the end of the day, I've always kind of maintained if you like a quarterback, draft him. The potential value you can get from getting a good quarterback on a rookie deal is huge. So if they can get that with Kenny Pickett, if he can be legit right away, he doesn't have to be a star because you're not paying him anything. So if he can just come in and play well right away, this can be great. And I have to say, from what I've seen, Pickett should be the starter. I just think so. We know who Mitchell Trubisky is. If Pickett isn't going to embarrass himself, if Pickett can handle going in right away, put Pickett in right away, because you're not winning a Super Bowl with Mitchell Trubisky, right? Trubisky's a fine player. I get why you made the signing. There was definitely logic to be had when you made that signing, but at this point, I think that the right move would realistically be put the guy in who has the most potential. Put the guy in who could be the Mac Jones of this season. I mean, that I made that kind of comparison. Mac Jones, another guy. I like the Mac Jones a lot more out of college, actually. But I can see the comparison there. The biggest concern I've had with Pickett is that he was kind of a one-year wonder and not like a Joe Burrow situation where it was kind of weird years. Pickett played a lot and then all of a sudden was a one-year wonder. But, he's still playing well. And if this is just who he is, maybe he fixed something in that year and actually legitimately is this good now. That does happen sometimes too. It's not always just beating up on younger kids as you get older. So I don't know exactly what the case is, but is there plenty of stuff to get excited about with Kenny Pickett? Absolutely. I think it's exciting. I think he should start. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. Excuse me. Stumbling over the outro. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.